big shout out and personal thank you to everybody that actually puts the timestamps down in the comments on Crunchyroll as to when the title card for the One Piece episodes airs. You people are heroes. You're my heroes. Yo, Fidzy here, aka Hegassen, and thank you for clicking on this anime review of episode 928. 5 minutes and 6 seconds. 5 minutes and 6 seconds it took to get to the title card of this episode. The rest of it was all flashback of the previous episode, and then even at 5 minutes and 6 seconds, it hadn't even finished. We still had to watch a few more seconds, carrying on with Kyoshiro. Normally, when this happens, you're like, I think there's gonna be some good animation in this episode, because, you know, they're finding ways to save money, basically, aren't they? They're finding ways to save money, so you're like, oh, there's going to be a good animation scene in this episode, and there was some good animation in this episode. You know, there was a lot of stuff with Robin and Brooke fighting the Onepiece. There was some good animation in there, but the main thing, the main event where most of the money of this episode went was on the scene, the big scene where Kyoshiro cuts down and kills Komurasaki, and you can tell that that is where all of the money went. All of the time was spent. It looked gorgeous. I really liked the style of how they did that, and you could tell that it was high quality animation. No, it wasn't flashy animation, it wasn't big flashy animation, but it was high quality animation. You know, even though Komurasaki was like falling down slowly, you could tell by the way her hair moved and all of the sakura petals and all of like the blood in the air. You could tell it was really nice, high quality and very beautiful animation. But of course the downside to this nice high quality animation in this scene was that we had to have some of these flashbacks, and that there were some other little scenes in this episode that were lacking. And is it worth the 5 minutes of recap at the beginning, plus a little bit extra, plus some repeated shots in this very scene? You know, we see Kyoshiro pull out his sword, then it goes to the eye catch, and then we see Kyoshiro pull out his sword again, so we have to rewatch that twice, which when you're watching it on like Crunchyroll, where you don't go to like ad breaks and everything, you know, you're not sitting at home watching all of the adverts, it's a little bit, it takes you out of it a little bit. Can they not edit that bit out when they upload it elsewhere? So it's a little bit annoying. Is it really worth it? I'm not really sure. I'll talk about that more in a little bit, but what I do want to say very quickly is that I do really respect how they did the animation. You know, like I say, it wasn't big flashy animation. They actually showed respect to the scene. Instead of, like, you know, they could have very easily had Kyoshiro charge up his haki, big aura burst, pull out his sword in a really like dramatic style, come running in, flying in, slash Komurasaki, big animated slash, have a shockwave going, blow up a building, blow up a mountain, blow up the moon. You know what kind of stuff anime does, but they didn't. They slowed it down. They showed respect to the scene. They showed people's emotions and everything, and I really liked it. I really liked the way that they did it. But again, was it worth the 5 minutes? I mean, you could skip it thanks to the people, you know, putting the time stamps down in the comments. But was it worth all of that? I'm not sure, because I feel like it let the whole episode down, because by the time it got to the end of this episode, I was like, is that it? It doesn't feel like I've watched a whole One Piece episode. Unlike last week, where, you know, they had lots of content, and, you know, maybe they didn't have as good high quality animations as you would have in this scene, but overall I think the episode was better because it was more fulfilling. It felt like there was more stuff in that episode, and it felt like I was watching a full episode, whereas this one, it feels like I'm watching half an episode, one really epic scene, and then just a whole load of fluff and filler, and I feel like that really drags it down for me. Maybe it's because I'm lacking that sense of shock to, you know, the oh my god, Kyoshiro, he cut down Komurasaki, I can't believe it, because I've already read that in the manga. So maybe if I was anime only and I also had that shock and surprise factor on top of it, it would feel a little bit more fulfilling. But for me, it didn't. So if you're anime only, let me know how you view this episode. For me, the highlight of this episode was seeing Brooke and Robin use their powers, because that is something that we didn't really get to see as much in the manga, and it's really good to see it here in the anime. It's always really refreshing to see Robin use her powers, especially her new like big hands and stuff, use it in nice creative ways. I really wish we get to see more of that in the One Piece anime, but sadly we haven't got to see as much, so it's really good to see it here. I was really enjoying them scenes. I was really enjoying Brook going around pretending like, oh, I'm a spooky ghost, I'm gonna get you, and then the realization that he actually can't hurt them in that form. And then we have Nami as well using Zeus, which was another good thing to see. It was a little bit disappointing though, because the animation in that scene was a little bit bad. You know, they'd obviously started to run out a little bit of budget there, because we see Zeus turn from like a normal cloud to a storm cloud in like the blink of an eye. You like blink and in a frame he's gone from a normal cloud to a storm cloud. But overall, all of the stuff with Robin and Brook, they were really good highlight scenes for me. And of course, seeing a lot more of Orochi in his devil fruit is always a good thing to see. But overall, I'm not really sure how I would rate this episode, because I personally didn't enjoy it as much as I was expecting to. I was really hyped with the last episode and this episode, because of all of that unnecessary flashbacks and stuff, and the fact that maybe because it just didn't have that surprise factor, I didn't enjoy it as much. So for me, this episode probably only a blue tier. I did feel at the end like I was missing quite a lot of content from this episode. It didn't feel like I'd watched a full episode of One Piece. I know, you gotta have the sacrifices if you want to have the epic scenes, but don't put the sacrifices in the same episode as the epic scene. Hey, so thanks for watching. What did you think? Let me know about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed my video, maybe give it a like, and if you really liked it, why not subscribe? You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Twitch. Oh, and here's a related video you might enjoy, and something more fresh. I've been Hegassen, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!